whatever will finish this competition, I'm proud to share this moment with you.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most emotional moments that tugged at our heartstrings from the history of the Summer and Winter Olympic Games.
Even though he didn't win a medal in Seoul, he did manage to capture the world's attention.
Number 20, the sisterhood of sportsmanship. During one of the heats for the women's 5,000-meter race at the 2016 Summer Olympics, disaster struck as the athletes grouped together. New Zealand's Nikki Hamblin tripped in the crowd, causing the U.S.'s Abby Cooper, previously known as D'Agostino, to fall over her. While Cooper got to her feet first, once the adrenaline wore off, she realized she was in agony. The two women helped each other to finish the race.
You must have heard the crowd roaring as you were going around the track. Was that a huge encouragement to you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I wasn't really sure if, it was what was happening in the front. You never know, what's causing the fans to go wild. So, but I definitely noticed, when I was finishing, I knew I was the only one on the track.
Despite Cooper and Hamblin finishing last and second last respectively, they qualified for the final due to their sportsmanship actions. However, Cooper sustained a torn ACL and meniscus, making it even more incredible that she even finished. Afterwards, the duo was awarded by the International Fair Play Committee.
Someone asked us the question earlier, whether we would change it, and both of us said that we wouldn't change it. We wouldn't change going down because of something so much bigger and so much stronger and so much more powerful as actually come out of what happened as opposed to a result on a scoreboard.
Number 19, Hidilyn Diaz's gold. Since making their Olympic debut in 1924, the Philippines had achieved several medals, but a gold medal had eluded them. Coming into the 2020 Summer Olympics, which were delayed to 2021, weightlifter Diaz had hopes of bettering her silver medal from the previous games. However, her preparations were thrown into chaos when she was stuck in Malaysia during the COVID-19 pandemic, with additional restrictions forcing her to make a homemade gym. Understandably, this played havoc with her mental health.
Postponing the Olympics for another 1 year, it's hard already for us mentally, physically, because we sacrifice a lot. We our life with the family, our time with our family, our time to, we decided to focus only doing the sport.
Yet when Diaz was able to compete at the games in the 55-kilogram category, she was phenomenal. Not only did she set 2 Olympic records, but Diaz took the gold medal, securing the Philippines' first gold and turning her into a national icon.
Diaz will be given a Presidential Medal of Merit, a fully furnished house and lot in Zamboanga City, 3 million pesos in cash from his pocket, and 10 million pesos from the government.
Number 18, Eric Moussambani swims. Even with everything against him, Moussambani became not only an Equatorial Guinea hero, but also an Olympic one. Having only taken up swimming 8 months before the 2000 Games, with the country only setting up a swimming federation 6 months before, Moussambani had to train in hotel pools. So when he arrived at the Olympics, he had never used a pool that size before.
How much chance do you get to train at home?
At home?
How much practice?
Little.
Every day?
Every day. But I am practice only. I don't have coach.
Nicknamed Eric the Eel, the legend competed in the 100-meter freestyle via a wildcard draw. While he finished last with the slowest time in the game's history, it didn't matter as he even set a national record. While he couldn't attend the 2004 event due to a visa issue, Moussambani would later become a coach for Equatorial Guinea swimming team.
Porque yo creo que en la vida cuando tienes objetivos de hacer algo, tienes que seguir insistiendo en hacerlo. Y seguir adelante, seguir luchando, porque el sacrificio y el esfuerzo es cuando una persona consigue lo que quiere.
Number 17. Niskanen waits for everyone to finish.
Even after the Olympic glorious medals that you got, what kind of feeling is that?
After winning a race, many athletes would go on to celebrate, take part in press events, and leave the venue. It's understandable. Yet Finland's Niskanen is different. At the 2022 Winter Olympics, he grabbed the gold medal at the men's 15-kilometer classical in cross-country skiing. Despite being exhausted from his achievement, Niskanen wasn't ready to celebrate. Instead, he waited until every other participant had crossed the finish line, wanting to show them all the respect they deserved, especially for countries that don't typically do well at winter events due to their smaller budgets. The last to cross was Colombia's Carlos Quintana, who finished nearly 18 minutes after the Finn, causing the two to celebrate together. Number 16. The determination of Gabriella Andersen-Schiess. The women's marathon event at the 1984 Olympics was especially memorable for two reasons. Firstly, it was the first time women were able to compete in the event at the Olympics. The second, the incredible drive of Andersen-Schiess.
Everything went according to plan till about 20 miles. I had to slow down a little bit, but I was still not feeling, really bad. I was still fine.
20 minutes after the U.S.'s Joan Benoit won the race, the Swiss runner entered the stadium. With temperatures peaking to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, mixed in with Andersen-Schiess missing the last water station, she was suffering from heat exhaustion and dehydration. Her limbs seized as medical staff spoke to her, yet she kept running. After spotting that Andersen-Schiess was still sweating, showing she had some fluid, they let her continue. Even with several stops and limping around the track, Andersen-Schiess sensationally crossed the finish line.
I was disappointed, and then I got all these positive answers and reactions of people, and they said, you kind of showed the spirit of the Olympics, and so that was quite something.
Number 15. Volunteer helps Hansel Parchment to gold. Before the semifinal of the men's 110 meters hurdles at the 2020 Olympics, Jamaica's Parchment was lost in Tokyo, Japan after taking the wrong bus and ending up at a different venue. However, with time running out and looking like he'd missed the event, he met Olympic volunteer Tijana Stojkovic, who gave him money to get a taxi.
And that's how I was able to get to the warm-up track at the stadium, and with enough time to warm up to compete, and that's just awesome.
Amazingly, after qualifying from the semi, Parchment went on to win the gold medal. He went back to meet Stojkovic and pay her back, as well as show her the medal she helped him win and give her an Olympic shirt. On top of that, Jamaican officials were so grateful for her kind gesture that they offered her an all-expenses-paid trip to the Caribbean country.
I just did what I can do, so I couldn't make him regret, so I did what I can, and now I'm so happy for this. I want to thank you.
Number 14. John Stephen Akhwari never gives up. With the 1968 Olympics taking place in Mexico City, which has an altitude of around 7,350 feet, many athletes were going to struggle. This became clear for Tanzania marathon runner Akhwari, who had never trained as high up as this before.
Personally, when it comes to athletics, I give it all my heart, my patriotism. This is what pushed me to finish that race, even though I was injured.
During the intense race, Akhwari's muscles began cramping. Yet rather than join the other 18 athletes who couldn't finish the race, he kept persevering. Even when he fell, giving him an injured shoulder and a dislocated knee, Akhwari wouldn't quit, receiving brief medical attention before continuing. While he came last, his words afterwards resonated with everyone when he stated, quote, "My country did not send me 5,000 miles to run the race. It sent me 5,000 miles to finish the race."
People have learned a lot from that incident, mostly people outside my country. They use it to teach their children, they use it to train their athletes, even in schools.
Number 13. Bjørn Dæhlie and Philip Boit's friendship. While Norway's Dæhlie is one of the country's most successful Olympic athletes, it was his actions away from competition that solidified his legend. After winning a gold medal in the men's 10-kilometer classical cross-country skiing event at the 1998 Winter Olympics, Dæhlie declined to leave until everyone competing had finished. This refusal even caused the medal ceremony to be delayed. Yet regardless, Dæhlie wanted to show respect to everyone.
All skiers might be coming. Maybe the last one might be 5 minutes, you can imagine. The last one out of all skiers might be a difference of 5 minutes. But for me, it was a difference of 20 minutes.
The last to cross the line, 20 minutes after Dæhlie, was Kenya's Boit, who was the first to represent his nation in the Winter Olympics. After sharing a hug, this sparked a lifelong friendship between the two. So much so that Boit named his child after Dæhlie.
Så Philip, I fjor så havna han jo på Hamar sykehus, og nå har han fullført på en bra måte. Litt sliten. Little bit tired, Philip.
Yes, I was tired. Number 12. Kerri Strug breaking the pain barrier. As part of the Magnificent Seven U.S. gymnastic team that was filled with talent, it was the teenager Strug who shone with her courage.
How can you be nervous here when you're in front of the entire planet? Even now with this Martian thing, even other planets are watching. This can't be. That must have been the most nerve-wracking. I mean, I can't imagine the tremendous pressure.
Coming down to the US and Russia for the gold in the women's artistic team all-round, Strug was set to perform the vault. However, when she landed, she severely sprained her ankle, with some reports stating she tore multiple ligaments. Yet with their opponents racking up scores in other events, Strug was required to do one more vault. After limping up to the event, she fought through her pain to achieve the vault before collapsing and needing to be carried off. However, Strug's effort was not in vain, as her score was enough to give the US gold.
To finally put it together when it counted most for that first ever team gold medal, it really signifies a lot. I had finally come into my own, and I think that catapulted me into a new arena and changed the trajectory of my life.
Number 11, Dan Jansen finally gets a medal. In 1988, the US's Jansen arrived at the Winter Olympics as the world champion. However, before he could compete in the speed skating events, he got the devastating news that his sister Jane had leukemia, which she passed away from hours later. Understandably, after that terrible news, he struggled at this one and the next Olympics. Yet in 1994, Jansen arrived at the Olympics desperate to get a medal.
Do you remember what it felt like to be in that moment?
I do. The emotions I felt, how I felt during, and then certainly when I crossed the finish line.
Incredibly, not only did he win a gold in the men's 1,000 meters, but he broke a world record. After all his heartache, Jansen had achieved his goal. He celebrated with his daughters, one of whom was named after his sister. After retiring from the sport shortly after, Jansen created a foundation to combat leukemia.
We've helped over 1,000 families. We've given away over $1 million now for the foundation, and so it's still going strong, and we're doing well.
Number 10, the Jamaican national bobsled team. The 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, Alberta, Canada featured some world-class performances and amazing gold medal wins. But one of the most popular teams of the Games was the 4-man bobsled team from Jamaica.
How familiar were you guys with bobsledding before you ever signed up?
No idea. I knew it was a winter sport. I knew it was fast and dangerous, but that was it.
They didn't win any medals. In fact, they crashed in their final run and never officially finished. But that really didn't matter because just being there was a victory. The team didn't have the experience the other teams had. They didn't even have all the equipment they needed and had to borrow some of it from other teams at the Games.
And incredibly, they qualified for the 1988 Calgary Games and headed north to Canada.
Did you have a sled when you got there?
No.
And let's not forget, they come from a country that doesn't have snow. They were an inspiration worthy of a Disney movie. Oh yeah, Disney made a movie about them.
Feel the rhythm! Feel the ride! Get on up! It's bobsled time! Hooray!
Number 9, US and Botswana runners finished the race together. Something amazing happened in 2021 during the men's 800-meter semifinal race at the Tokyo Olympics, and it had nothing to do with who finished first.
They were 54 seconds behind the winner, but in this case, time didn't matter at all.
On the final curve of the race, American runner Isaiah Jewett was preparing to make his push to qualify for the finals when Nigel Amos from Botswana accidentally tripped him from behind. In that moment, Jewett could have gotten aggressive towards Amos, or he could have gotten angry at him for costing him his chance at an Olympic final. But he didn't.
There's no reason to be upset. I did everything I could.
Instead, seeing how devastated Amos was as well, Jewett helped him up off the ground and told him, quote, "Hey man, let's finish this race. We're not done yet. Let's finish it together." And that is what they did.
And I can feel the energy of the whole competition, everybody's pushing hard. And it was such a cool, place to be in. And I just loved every second of it. So I couldn't be upset.
Number 8, Cathy Freeman lights the flame and wins gold.
The headline in the paper today said the race of our lives. She has become a symbol.
The 2000 Summer Games in Sydney, Australia were great for the host country, which ended up in 4th place in the overall medal count. But while every one of those medals was meaningful, one of them meant a little more to the often marginalized Indigenous people of the country. Aussie sprinter Cathy Freeman is an Indigenous person who was also selected to light the Olympic flame.
Get a real kick. And a very big honor, great honor to be asked to do it, and I couldn't reject. Although I gave the AIC every chance to change their mind. But no, they had every ever confidence in me that I was the right person for the job.
And when Freeman won the 400-meter gold, she became the first Australian Aboriginal person to win an Olympic gold medal as an individual, as opposed to as part of a team. She even carried the Australian and the Aboriginal flags during her victory lap.
What do you think this means to the Aboriginal people?
A lot. I can't explain to you how much. It's very historical.
Number 7. Matthias Steiner holds photo of his late wife. In 2005, Austrian-German weightlifter Matthias Steiner married a German woman and moved to Germany. Tragically, just 2 years later, his wife passed away in a car accident. Steiner was crushed.
Vor der Entscheidung stand, ob ich jetzt überhaupt wieder anfange oder ob ich es einfach bleiben lasse, war mir dann klar, wenn ich es jetzt bleiben lasse, dann ist dieses Geschehene trotzdem passiert.
He lost upwards of 15 pounds, but was able to continue his training and went to the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, competing for Germany in the over 105 kilogram category. The competition was tight, but Steiner outlifted the field and won gold.
Da haben alle Körperteile nachgegeben, nur die Arme nicht. Die waren gültig, also das war hier durch, das war gültig. Ich habe die Hantel beherrscht und ich war dann Olympiasieger.
It was a very emotional moment, especially knowing that his wife would have been there to see it had he not lost her the previous year. To honor her and have her with him, he held up a picture of the late Suzanne while on the podium accepting his gold medal.
Ich wollte eigentlich nur für mich der Welt zeigen, dass ich nicht allein hier oben stehen möchte.
Number 6. Post-apartheid victory lap. In 1962, due to their racist national policy of apartheid, South Africa was banned from Olympic competition. In 1990, there began negotiations within South Africa to end apartheid, and in 1992, the nation was allowed back into the Olympic fold at the Summer Games in Barcelona.
Barcelona Olympics was very special because it was the first in 30 years for South Africans. It was also very much of a roller coaster road to get to Barcelona, and almost couldn't believe that, you know, it really is true that I've got the opportunity to compete in the Olympics.
In the women's 10,000-meter race, Ethiopia's Derartu Tulu took home the gold, with the silver medal going to South African runner Ilana Meyer.
ለእኛ ለኢትዮጵያኖች በጣም ደስ የሚል ጊዜና በጣም ደስ የሚል ጥሩ ጊዜ ነበረው ማለት ነው።
Following the race, the runners came together for a victory lap. South Africa still had a ways to go to heal nationally as well as internationally. But seeing these two runners together and even holding hands provided a heartwarming glimmer of hope that humanity could one day emerge victorious.
እንግዲህ የአፓርታይድ የደቡብ አፍሪካ አፓርታይድ የጥቁርና የነጭ ችግር ነበረ። የኔና ከነጭ እኔ ደግሞ ከጥቁር ስለዚህ ያንን በወቅቱ በእርግጥ እርቅ ነበረ።
Number 5. The shared gold medal. In sports, we're taught that for one person to win, someone else has to lose. Well, at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, two men showed us that that doesn't always have to be the case.
We athletes, we're competitive. That's just in our nature, and that's what we've been doing for so many years. But you know, for me, it's very important also not to, forget the real reason of sport, the real message. This is still sport. It's still a tool for us to come together.
High jumpers Mu'taz Issa Barsham of Qatar and Italy's Gianmarco Tamberi had been close friends for over 10 years by the time they arrived in Tokyo. During the competition, both jumpers cleared the same high, and the rules required a jump-off to determine the winner. Or if there was no jump-off, then the two athletes would tie.
Can we have 2 gold? It's possible. It depends if you decide on the champion.
And that's exactly what they chose to do, joyfully deciding to share the gold medal. As Barsham said, this is beyond sport. This is the message we deliver to the young generation.
Humanity, solidarity, unity. It's just like, peace coming all together. This is beyond sport. This is a true message, so I'm really proud of that moment.
Number 4. Georgian athletes compete after losing a teammate.
Before we officially welcome you to these games, John Furlong and I have a very solemn duty to perform.
On February 12, 2010, during his final training run, Georgian luger Nodar Kumartashvili suffered a fatal crash in the final turn of the course.
We extend our deepest sympathies to his family, his friends, his teammates and countrymen.
Following their countryman's tragic death, the entire Georgian contingent considered leaving and skipping the Olympics entirely. However, the Georgian sports and culture minister later announced that they would stay to compete and, quote, dedicate their efforts to their fallen comrade. During the opening ceremonies, the entire team, now down to only 7 athletes, showed respect to Kumartashvili in a number of ways, including wearing black ribbons and leaving a space among them during the procession. Number 3. Lawrence Lemieux saves competitors. Lawrence Lemieux was a Canadian Olympic sailor who competed at both the 1984 and 1988 Olympic Games.
Few recognized Edmonton's Lawrence Lemieux at the Olympic Village, but he, perhaps more than anyone, represents what the Olympics are all about.
It was at those 1988 Games in Seoul, South Korea, that Lemieux won the medal that people are still talking about. And it wasn't gold, silver, or bronze. Lemieux was in the middle of a race when he noticed that the team from Singapore's boat had capsized in the strong winds, and the sailors had been thrown from the dinghy.
So I yelled at them a couple times and said, "Do you need help?" And I couldn't quite hear what their answer was, and it just got to the point where I couldn't take the chance of that they did need help and sail by, so I pulled out of the race and went and rescued the fella from Singapore.
Lemieux steered off course from his race to go and save the capsized sailors and wait for a rescue boat to pick them up. For this amazing act, he was awarded the Pierre de Coubertin Medal for sportsmanship.
You learn to deal with situations such as this from the way you've been brought up in your surroundings, and that's what Canada's all about.
Number 2, Derek Redmond and his dad. Usually it's the winners of a race who are forever remembered. But alongside his father at the men's 400-meter semifinal at the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, it was Derek Redmond, the man who crossed the finish line last, who has gone down in Olympic history.
It's hard to tell positions in the 400 metres due to the staggering of the athletes, but Derek was holding his own, well within the time he would need to qualify for the final. Then it happened.
Redmond, a sprinter from Britain, tore his hamstring during the race. Rather than just hobble off the track, he was determined to cross the finish line.
The bitter memory of missing out in Seoul had stayed with him. As medics came to help him off the track, Derek refused to go out without a fight.
And that's when this emotional moment came into being. Seeing his son limping along, Derek's father ran out onto the track and helped him complete the full 400 meters as the crowd rose to their feet and cheered them on.
It was the ultimate show of the Olympic spirit. Competing against the pain despite the heartbreak. Not for the glory of winning, but to cross that finish line.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Joannie Rochette skates for her mom.
When I took my starting position, I had no more legs, and I think the last thought that went through my mind was, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
A 2-year-old Joannie Rochette was first brought to the local skating rink by her mother, Thérèse Rochette. 22 years and 6 consecutive Canadian championships later, Rochette was skating for her country in the 2010 Winter Games in Vancouver. Her mother came to see her compete, but shortly after arriving in Vancouver, she had a heart attack and passed away. She was only 55 years old. Rochette was given the sad news while practicing for her short program skate.
I kind of told my coach and the skating federation that I would do the competition probably 10 minutes after I heard the news that my mom had passed away. That was probably a little bit quick, and to be honest, when I said it, I didn't even know if I could do it, if I had it in me.
A heartbroken Rochette remained in the competition, and just days later, skating for her mother, she had the best short skate of her career, ending with tears in her eyes. She followed that with a strong long program skate and the bronze medal.
It just felt really weird that she wasn't there, but I knew she was somewhere watching.
Did we miss any other heartwarming Olympic moments in the video? Let us know which incident tugged at your heartstrings in the comments.